Hello everybody and welcome back to another indie horror game. Today we'll be playing In the Foundations. This is a horror visual novel about coming back to your childhood home. Now, as I read through this game, my voice will be a lot quieter than usual. So if you'd like to play this game for yourself, the link will be in the description below. So yeah, let's just get into it. Start. This game does not use autosave. You got it. Wednesday, November 11th, 2026. The sun is low in the sky, unsurprisingly for this time of day, this time of year. Each November, as the sun sets earlier, you feel your body ache more. Deep in the bones, the muscle, the joints especially. You weren't made for the southern Illinois weather. It's probably why you left after high school. Or part of it. There's a lot of reasons you weren't living here anymore. It's been long enough, though, that the feeling feels like a memory underwater. It's not that cold, but being far from any body of water makes the air dry, enough that your nose bleeds at night. Being back here makes old injuries throb. You take a deep breath and let it out haltingly. You drop your backpack on the ground and you stare off into the middle distance. The wind whips your hair around your face. As night falls, the temperature will drop from comfortable in your jeans and flannel to needing to put on your beanie to prevent constant shivering. You stick your hands in your pockets, idly rubbing the steam where the jeans and the cloth fabric meet, until the man next to you clears his throat and you snap your attention back to him. Gene is in a suit even after hours. You've never seen him dressed informally. You okay? Gene says. Yeah, why do you ask? You keep sighing. Sorry, it's not on purpose. I'm just breathing. So, let's get this over with. Don't worry, Gene says. I'll make this quick for you. Here. He reaches his closed hand out towards you, flipping it over and opening it. Inside are your dad's keys. The keychains are familiar. Cardinals logo, bottle opener from Buckwater Brew Works, that new local brewery he liked. He liked that. You never got to go with him, but you didn't see eye to eye on beer anyway. Gene wiggles his fingers, indicating that he's waiting impatiently for you to take the keys. I thought you might want these as they were. Gene looks at you with concern on his face. Something sentimental on them? What's this key? I say. You point to the larger, old-looking key. I didn't do inventory of everything that's on there. I just, you know, he looks sheepish. I'm sorry about your dad, Gene says. You stare down at the keys, looking for some kind of eureka moment. You finally reach out and take them, gingerly. They're warm from Gene's pocket. So, the keys, and he starts to pat around his pockets before realizing whatever he's looking for is not in there. 1 second, Gene says. I'll be right back. He runs off in a really slow, older gentleman kind of jog toward his car. The sun is setting. It's 4:49 p.m. Somewhere, a dog barks at a house down the street. Wouldn't be one you know. Lots of people around here have dogs. On the way back, Gene walks, awkwardly wait for him. He's carrying a small lockbox and some long rolled-up papers. I was asked to give this to you too, Gene said. It was in the safe deposit box. He places the stuff in your hand and wipes his palms on his pants. As you look at the items, none of them seem familiar. The lockbox has a combination lock. The box looks very old and fragile, but the lock is new. The lock uses letters, not numbers as you'd expect. The documents are rolled tight, but the texture looks like drafting paper. What is this stuff, I say? It's the stuff from the safety deposit box, Chief. You hear him mutter under his breath. I swear I just said that. You know, you have no obligation to stay here. Sell the house if you want. I can help. You shrug. You probably will sell the place so you can go back home. This is not your home anymore, but you need to think about it first. Anything else you need, Jean says? No, I'm good. Great. He starts to walk away from it, slowly. Jean gets to his car and opens the door. Before he fully sits down, though, he calls out to you one last time. Hey, kid. I couldn't find that snow globe you mentioned. To be honest, though, I didn't look hard. He sits down in the car and gives you a curt wave. You give a small Midwestern head nod and watch him drive away. It's a lot of effort, way more than it should be, for you to get your feet to move onto the porch. But eventually, you use the keys to make your way into the house. Once you're inside, a little relief washes over you. It's short-lived, though. You put your backpack in your old bedroom and plan to sleep in it. There's a guest room, but your bedroom is just how it was when you left. You place the lockbox and papers down on the dining room table. You take a good look at the lock. What could the combination be? If only Dad hadn't died so suddenly, you think to yourself for the 20th time. There's a lot of options, though. The dial has the full alphabet on it. For fun, you try your name, but the lock doesn't budge. You'll come back later when you have a better idea of what fate saddled you with figuring it out. Dramatic much? Well, Dad died and now you're here, stuck with the family burden of cleaning out this house and now solving this lockbox mystery. You stand in the living room. It feels really dark and gloomy even with the lamp on, so you brave turning on the ceiling light. Actually, the overhead light's overwhelming, but it's not enough to shake this feeling. You go around the house turning on all the lights. Your stepmom would have been pissed at you for doing this, but she's not here. The heat isn't on, and while you don't need it now, you will soon. You find the panel and turn it on. The heat kicking on smells a little like burning, but it's a familiar smell. The apartment you live in San Diego doesn't have a system like this. You don't really need it. Weather doesn't have the same extremes. But the smell is almost nostalgic, and this plus the lights being on, you feel more at home. It's weird being alone here. Your dad was always home when you lived here. He was an early adopter to working at home. It meant that he was always home to help you out, even after Sandra came into the picture. Are you sure he actually helped you? Didn't Grandma take care of you most of the time? The dining room is always where the last beams of light come in. The window faces west, but there's not much sunset to watch through the trees tonight. You sit at the table and eat the protein bar you bought at the airport. It tastes like chalk, but mint chalk and chip chalk. It's fine. There's a lot worse things happening right now. After you're done, you take a lap around the house, making sure nothing seems too out of place. The wall of books smells just as it did, a tendril of rotten mold, almost inviting. Most of them are leather-bound, older than you. It's weird how a library can smell like a garden, but everything looks mostly the same. It's hard to decide what next steps to take. You know you need to at least catalog the family heirlooms photos and journals. And you'll have to find that fucking snow globe. You asked your dad about it almost every year, and you're sure he made excuses because he broke it. But if it's not broken, it's probably down in Dad's. You hesitate when you think about the basement. Dad's dead. He can't get mad at you for going down there. Dad is definitely dead. But still, in the back of your mind, when you think about opening the door, you hear him admonishing you. You'll have to get to it, eventually. For now, you might as well go to sleep. Before you go to bed, though, let's try to open the lock one more time. You stare at the lock and try to force the code to come into your mind. Gotta try something. Alright, so there was a few green words that came across the text box. One was burden, and one was obligation. So maybe we should try the first one, which was obligation. Okay, let's see if this works. You put in the combination obligation. You pull down on the lock, it stays closed. Maybe you'll figure it out another day. You decide to get ready for bed. For no reason at all, since no one else is here, you close the bedroom door and lock. The soap is still the same Mandarin orange soft soap that was always in the bathroom. You brush your teeth and stare into the mirror. There's a small crack in it that's been there your whole life. You run your finger across it while trying to breathe slowly. When you spit into the sink, you make sure the water is running. The damn thing used to clog all the time if enough toothpaste foam got caught at the drain. Washing your face with the water at maximum heat, barely lukewarm, helps you feel more normal. As the water runs down your face, a little gets in your mouth and it tastes a bit salty. You're not sure if it's because of sweat or tears lingering on your skin. Doing your full bedtime routine really gets you ready to fall asleep. You change in the bathroom with the locked door, still with the anticipation someone might knock. Your room is pretty much the same as it's always been. You lie down on the bed, get under the old scratchy covers. You close your eyes and try to sleep. It's quiet. The heater smell has faded away, or you've gotten used to it. But there's still something musty that permeates the vibes. You start to drift off, but you feel like you hear your dad walking around the basement. At first, since you're half of consciousness, it feels comforting. But something snaps in you, and you sit straight up in bed. You throw your blankets to the side and stand up. It's probably because there's no background noise. Your room doesn't have a television, and it never did. Before moving, you usually fell asleep to silence. The only TV is in the living room. You could go to sleep on the couch. It's old and very broken in. It's probably the only option if you want to get a good night's sleep tonight. You walk down the hallway as quietly as possible. Even though no one is here, you somehow have the itch in the back of your brain that you'll be bothering someone if you turn on the TV. On the way to the couch, you have to pass the basement door. As you walk past, you hesitate. This is where Dad would always be. You notice you're breathing heavily. Your eyes feel dry. You try to unclench your hands and your jaw. The door scares you still. For some reason, you feel compelled to open the door. After a few deep breaths, you swing the door open. You look down the stairs. It's pitch black. You feel too nervous to even turn on the light. You listen carefully. Only silence. You force yourself to close the door and walk past. You walk into the living room. It's a little chilly in this part of the house, but it doesn't bother you much. You lie down on the couch on your back and pull the blanket over yourself. It's one your grandma crocheted. It smells like her still, from what you can remember. She died so long ago that it feels like most of your memories of her are a blurry mess, except for her crochet and knitting projects. The TV works, even though it's obviously older than you. You find the remote and turn it on. The room is almost pitch black, but the sound and light helps you relax. There's really only late night reruns to watch. Any apprehension you still have melts away. Your arm falls off the side of the couch, heavy. You almost feel like you could reach out and touch Scotty. His fur, the warmth. But he's been gone since before you moved away. The TV doesn't have a sleep timer, so you turn down the volume a little and drift off. All right, we are moving on to the next day, but this is where I'm going to end part one. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. It is okay. Leave your comments and thoughts down below. This is a very interesting game. I've never read a horror novel like this before, so it's very interesting. And I'm very interested to see what's going on in the house and what's in that lockbox. So if you want to dive into this a little bit further, watch out for my next video, and I will talk to you all then. Bye-bye.